Okay, welcome in, race fans. It's another Apex This surprise broadcast. This is going to be week 11 for the Apex This racers. They're just getting into practice, practice just finishing up here now. We're just getting into qualifying here shortly, so we should see our drivers heading out to the track here any moment, and then we'll see how the qualifying results stack up. We've got our mixed Larrys, mid-pack Larrys, and our almost pros out here tonight. So we'll see how each one of those groups fare. I was watching the practice as it went on, and it looks like we should have some mid-pack Larrys that are going to be challenging up with the pros here tonight at Hockenheim. You can see the information up there. This is week 11, as I mentioned, of 12 weeks. So getting down to the final nitty-gritty races here for the Apex This league. One more week to go next week, so last chance for our drivers to earn some points and jockey around for their position. But they got this week and next week to do it. See our track temps there, 20 degrees, so relatively cool. Our drivers should have no problem making their tires last through the 45-minute race. 61% moisture. We're not expecting any rain out there tonight. A little bit of partly cloudy, sun and cloud mixture, so our drivers have almost perfect conditions to put in some laps here tonight. Let's head on over to the track here and take a look at what's going on. Let's pick up, let's see if we can pick up Corey Mitchell out here in Murderous Motorsports. See Corey heading around, currently still on his out lap. We don't have any times on the board yet at this time, so still waiting for a few of our drivers to pop in and put a time up, but we'll follow Corey. Let's see if we can hop on board with Corey. He's about midway through the lap here, heading into the first real major overtake section at the end of the Parabolica straight. Real tight corner. It's easy to go out wide there. You have to use a whole ton of steering lock, something these GT3 cars don't have a whole lot of to start with. So it'll be interesting to see which one of our drivers maximize the entry and exit through that corner. It's going to make or break any passes. But see Corey heading into the stadium section now. See those heavy grandstands where all the Formula One fans will sit. See all the action come around with a few corners to go. Another tricky section there. It's easy in the Porsche, which Corey's driving right now, to lose the back end of the car through that section and have it swing around. The Porsche very finicky when it comes to pendulum effect with the weight of the engine being over the rear tires, rear suspension. It works well in rain races and really twisty corners, but you get into the slow corners where you really got to get onto the brakes and hammer down, and the Porsche sometimes will try and turn around and bite you. So we'll see how our drivers are able to manage out there tonight, as Corey's going to finish up his first lap. He's going to currently sit in 5th spot in the Almost Pros. The Almost Pros and the mid-pack Larrys. The Larrys are what we would call the AM drivers, and our Almost Pros are what we would call the pros. I just want to call them Almost Pros just to kind of poke at a couple of the guys here, Corey being one of them. It's easy to rag on Corey in the league, but as we see him going around to pick up another lap, we'll jump up with our current pole sitter, Chad Sosnowski, 138.6. Chad looking quick out there right now. I believe he was up top of the practice standings too as well, so no surprise we see Chad up top of the qualifying standings here too as well so far early on in this one. See Chad starting to head into that section where we picked up with Corey moments ago, but Chad on a quick one. Let's check back on one of our McLarens. We've seen a couple of Porsches. We got Brian Zinn from Buzz Tower Racing, currently 2nd spot overall in the Almost Pros. Oh, he's just going to lose that spot to Joseph Mars. Joseph's going to pip him by 1/10 of a second there. Real tight battle between 2nd and 3rd and 4th, actually. 4th and 5th, all separated by about 2/10 in the Almost Pros. So real tight battle in our pro category tonight so far in qualifying. Let's see if we can hop on board with Sean Teeter, our current leader in the mid-pack Larry. Sean driving the Acura, new car to the service this season. It's been a fan favorite in most of the iRacing endurance events so far, so it's good to see some of our drivers taking a liking to it as well. But Sean currently with a 139.4 leading the mid-pack Larry, so let's take a look at where that would put him overall currently. So overall, it would have him looking at 6th place in overall, leading the AM class. So Sean looking tough right now for the rest of the mid-pack Larry field. They're going to have to really find some time to try and bump him off the top of the mid-pack Larry standings as it stands. But let's take a look back at John Cooper. I didn't have time to get the points inputted into the system for the season, but Coop is currently leading the mid-pack Larry's side of the championship, so he'll be looking to have a strong finish here tonight. Currently sitting 5th in the mid-pack Larry's qualifying standings, so Coop kind of got himself in about the middle of the pack. I believe we have say about 14 or 15 mid-pack Larry's here tonight, so we'll see how they shape up as it fares on. I'm quickly going to have to add a driver in here. Looks like we had Roman Bykoff showing up late to the party. Another one of our almost pro drivers, so we'll quickly get him entered into the system here so we can see where he shuffles in when he puts in a lap time. But let's see if we can find another driver to take us a lap around the track here. Let's see where Wesley Bryce is. Looks like Wesley just crossing the start finish line. See if we can go on board here with Wesley as he puts in a lap across the start finish line into turn 1. Turn 1, tricky section. You see that large red curb on the inside. Very easy for our drivers to get unsettled there. If they hit that red curbing too hard, you'll probably see it a couple times tonight where a driver will hit that too hard. It'll unsettle the car and just toss the car out to the left violently. Hopefully there'll be no cars beside them when that happens, but I can guarantee you it'll probably happen to at least 1 or 2 drivers. It might even happen at the start, as that'll be the first corner that our drivers will have to navigate. The off track is real tight that iRacing has through there, so it doesn't even really allow for other drivers to go out wide without suffering an off track or a slowdown. So it'd be nice if they actually adjusted that so it allowed some leniency for our drivers to go out wide there if they were heading too wide into turn 1 and not have to try and hold a tight line and force possible collision between the 2 drivers. But Wesley heading into the stadium section now, currently sitting in 3rd overall with a 138.9, just over a 10th behind Joseph Maher in 3rd place in the almost pro category. So we'll see if Wesley's able to improve on his time here. Joseph Maher just came around. Unfortunately, he was unable to improve on his time. So Wesley last time went 139.1, his fastest time 138.9. You're looking to try and improve on the 38.9. 1 more corner to go, and then we'll see if he's able to do that. And across the line, he's going to go there. Let's see what he did. He is not going to improve. A 139.26. That's going to keep him in 3rd spot right now. Fortunate for Wesley, but looks like he's going to call it quits on qualifying. Our drivers have, as you can see there on the clock, 10 minutes of qualifying. They can put in up to 4 laps if they see enough time to do so. But most of our drivers looks like they're pulling off after the 3rd or 2nd lap here. But currently Russell Elizondo sitting in 2nd in the mid-pack Larry. So Russell looking strong tonight. We saw him in practice early on, kind of sitting up towards the top of the overall standings in around the mid-pack of the pro category. So Russell could have something out there tonight for our current pole sitter Sean Teeter in the mid-pack Larry's, but we'll see if he's able to move on. Looks like as we follow Aaron Sunday, he's going to pull it off and pull the chute on his qualifying attempt right now. Joseph Maher, who's on board with the last car on track. Everybody else is pulled off. We got Lynn Sosnowski in chat. I'm sure she's in here cheering on Chad. Thanks for joining us, Lynn. Matthew Aikens, these aren't Miatas. These are not Miatas, Matt. They've almost abandoned the Miata class for Apex. We'll see if it comes back next season or not, but that's going to do it for qualifying. 2 seconds to go. Time is up. So we'll just let the timing and scoring recalculate itself here, and then we'll take a look at the qualifying results here. So we see Chad Sosnowski is going to qualify on the pole. He'll have Brian Lemke to his outside, 4/10 back. Joseph Maher in 3rd. Wesley Bryce in 4th. Mark Miller's going to start 5th. Brian Zinn in 6th. Sean Teeter's going to start 7th. You'll note that Sean is a mid-pack Larry driver, starting ahead some of the pro drivers. They are not sorting the grid per class. You're going to start where you qualified. So Sean Teeter ahead of a couple of his foes in the mid-pack Larry category, starting in 7th. Kelly Greenhoe in 8th. Corey Mitchell in 9th. And Russell Elizondo is going to round out the top 10. Then we find Jonathan Cooper in 11th. And excuse me, Ross Bassett in 12th. Josh Sheps in 13th. And Andre Bunda in 14th. Ozzie Sulo in 15th. Spencer Beaudoin in 16th. Arthur Remus in 17th. Aaron Sunday in 18th. Kent Kruger, the big dog in mid of the league, in 19th. Sean Giroux in 20th. Roman Bykoff 21st. Mark Bray in 22nd. And we'll see if Bryce Carter joins the grid, as we did not see a time from him out there in qualifying. Okay, we're just waiting for all of our drivers to grid up. Looks like we are doing a short pace lap here tonight, so that's nice to see. We hate having to sit through the full pace lap. It's akin to watching paint dry on a wall here, so nice to see that our drivers don't have to suffer through that, as well as us in the commentary booth and watching at home. So looks like we've got everybody on the grid so far. Looks like Bryce Carter will make the grid in the back there in the black Corvette. So good to see all 23 of our drivers are on grid. As the grid starts to pull away, they're going to be led around by Chad Sosnowski and Brian Lemke, pair of Porsche. Oh no, sorry, Lemke's in the Acura. I was going to say a pair of Porsches leading the way, but Lemke is our Acura starting P2, but we do have a heavy Porsche and Acura presence on the front of the grid. We've got Porsche, Acura, Porsche, Acura making up the top 5. So we see our first non-Porsche Acura driver in 6th, Brian Zinn, holding down that spot. So we'll see if Zinn's got anything to offer in the McLaren. Otherwise, it's all Acuras and Porsches all the way back to 12th spot. So per usual, this will be a 45-minute race. They will have to make a pit stop at some point in time. Just for fuel, there'll be no need for tires. They will have to wait till the green flag flies before they can start the race. Otherwise, they are open to penalties. So heading into the final couple corners here, we'll see the pace car duck off shortly, head into the pits, and then our leaders will have the field under control until the green flag. We've got the Porsche pace car out here tonight as we're in Hockenheim, Germany, home of Porsche, or Porsche. Have you pronounce it as you will. Okay, here we go. We're waiting for the grid to come around, waiting for the green flag to pop. There we go, we're underway. Corey Mitchell's going to dive out wide at the start of this one, heading into turn 1. Sosnowski going to lead them in. Lemke on the outside. Looks like Joseph Meyer trying to make a move around on the inside. It didn't work out for him. He's got Wesley Bryce to his outside now, trying to capitalize on that position. Bryce is going to move up into 3rd. Mahler's going to drop back to 4th. Zinn's going to move up into 5th. He's got Mark Miller looking to the inside of him. Mark Miller with that white and blue Acura. Tight battle here as it looks like our field getting sorted out early in this one. Single file early on. So we've had a couple of cars crash in the back. We'll pick up that replay in moments. But right now, Sosnowski opening up a bit of a gap here, 7/10 over the field. Corey Mitchell looking to make a move on Zinn and Mark Miller. And inside, Corey jumping over the curb. He's going to make the move around Miller, but he's not going to make it clean on Zinn. Zinn's going to hold on to that spot. So Corey Mitchell up 3 spots early on in this one. Corey trying to make up for a little bit of a lackluster qualifying result for him. We see a little bit of a concertining effect with a couple of cars bumping and banging in through that section there. It looked like Kelly Greenhill, Russell Elizondo, and possibly Mark Miller. A little bit of nose to tail bumping and banging as the cars concertined up for the corner. See the field working through the stadium section. Leader Chad Sosnowski opened up 1.1 seconds now over Brian Lemke. Chad starting to pull away early on in this one, so we'll take a moment here and see if we can pick up what happened early on between Oz Exulo and possibly Andre Bunda. Oh, looks like a couple of cars got spun around there. They had to avoid it. There's Oz Exulo tried to avoid it, unfortunately get turned around He's going to lose it and hit the wall. Let's see if we can catch off what happened earlier on. It looks like it might have been Sean Teeter that set this hole off. Let's see if we can pick up Sean Teeter. He was our AM pole sitter. So Sean, I believe, in the black accurate NSX on the outside of Corey Mitchell. Oh, they were going 3 wide there. Unfortunately, Sean, the middle car, just had nowhere to go. Got caught up and spun around. It's unfortunate for him. So he's going to tow back to the pits. Fortunate for Sean. Not sure if he had a black flag, meatball flag there. He might have been able to drive it back and use this quick repair versus towing, but unfortunate for him, he is out at this time. Sosnowski still leading them around. Let's pick up our AM leader currently, Russell Elizondo. He's got Kelly Greenhow, one of our pro drivers, up ahead. Russell trying to make a move around him. Kelly trying to hold him off. 2 different classes there, so they don't really need to battle a whole lot, but I believe points are doled out for overall, not necessarily per standing. So Russell could take advantage of 8th place points versus 9th place, which he's currently in. But that would also give him top points gathering for the AM class. He's got John Cooper, our current mid-pack Larry championship leader, just behind him. Coop up 1 spot from where he qualified. He would love to try and take that spot away from Russell Elizondo. Russell holding him off strong right now. It looks like Kelly Greenhow might be a little bit of the cork in the bottle right now. So it looks like Russell trying to find a way around Kelly Greenhow. Kelly doing the best he can to make that accurate as wide as he can to hold Russell Elizondo behind him. Let's see if we can pick up an onboard here with Russell Elizondo as he tries to pressure the back of Kelly Greenhow. See Kelly in the white and black Acura up ahead. He's trying to chase down Mark Miller and Corey Mitchell up ahead. A couple of his fellow almost pro cars. Russell shows a little bit of the nose to Kelly Greenhow through that section. Kind of fake and bakes a little bit of a move to the inside. Kelly doesn't go for it, but Kelly with a little bit of erratic exit out of that corner. That's going to cost him some time. I'm not sure if Russell's going to be able to make a move, get enough run here through the draft to make a move. He's thinking about it, moves to the inside, doesn't quite make the dive. Kelly's going to hold him off for now. So pick up 2nd place, Brian Lemke. Lemke trying to hold back Wesley Bryce. Wesley Bryce up 1 spot from where he qualified. He was able to pip Joseph Maher of 3rd place early on into turn 1. So nice run so far by him. Joseph Maher currently in 4th. He'd love to get back up there, try and regain his qualifying position from Wesley Bryce. But right now he's just going to have to settle in, try and maintain the gap between he and Zinn behind, and worry about chasing down Bryce a little bit later. So Zinn, one of our only McLarens in the field here tonight. Let's go on board with Zinn as he tries to chase down the Porsche of Joseph Maher up ahead. This is our middle of our almost pro field. Surprisingly, all of our pros have been able to move up towards the front of the field. We did see some of them scattered through the field in qualifying. So once the race went green, they were quickly able to move up to the front of the field. So we'll see if they're able to hold off that spot, or if a couple of our faster mid-pack Larry cars are able to move their way through. Let's pick up Kent the Big Dog, Chief Admin, as he's trying to put some pressure on Sean Giroux. Sean in the black Orlando Corp painted Corvette. That was the Daytona, I almost said 500, the Rolex 24 Hours Daytona winning car in the real life race. So Sean sporting that paint job, but Kent in his usual Big Dog lime green and yellow paint scheme. Back in the Ferrari this week, we've seen Kent kind of jump around between cars. I think last time I did a race, Kent was in the Acura, and then before in the Porsche. So normally he likes to drive the Ferrari, kind of fits his driving style the best. So good to see Kent back in the Ferrari, where he's had the most success in the league here so far. So we'll see if he's able to put some pressure on Sean and move around him. So quickly scan through here, see what we've got for battles. I think this is more or less our closest battle on track, but it looks like Corey Mitchell and Mark Miller might be getting a little closer here. Corey trying to hold Miller off. Corey up 3 spots from where he qualified. He didn't have the best qualifying showing for Corey, so he's going to try and hold on to that spot as long as he can, but he's got the Acura of Mark Miller behind him. The Acuras have been fast here today. We saw them at the top of the qualifying standings, so we'll see if Corey's able to hold off Mark Miller in behind. If Miller's got a little more speed in that Acura, that he's able to move around the Porsche of Mitchell. But it's like Russell Elizondo starting to close that gap on Miller up ahead. He's gotten around Kelly Greenhoe. We'll have to see if we can pick up when Russell Elizondo was able to get around Greenhoe, but he was following him for the longest time. We saw him close up on the back bumper of Greenhoe, but he's been able to make the move. Let's take a look here at how Elizondo got around Greenhoe. So you got to run through the Parabolica down the short straight. Late on the brakes, makes that pass. Kelly's going to back off and just give it to him. That's going to move Russell Elizondo up into 8th place as he gets around Kelly Greenhoe. Okay, near the 10-minute mark into this one. Not yet in the pit window section. I don't expect any drivers to come in yet. It'll be interesting to see if anybody goes for the undercut. I haven't seen it much in this league. A lot of the guys kind of tend to go as deep into the fuel run as they can before they come in for fuel. I would say if you were somebody, maybe Mark Miller here, Mark, following Corey Mitchell, running slightly quicker lap times, about a tenth and a half quicker than Corey. Corey might be holding Miller up at this point in time. I would think smart play by Miller might be when that pit window opens up to duck in, see if he can try and get into some open track, open air, try and pull off some quicker laps. When Corey Mitchell does duck into the pits, Miller's able to pip him and take that spot. But right now it looks like he's content to follow around Corey Mitchell. He might be on a bit of a fuel saving run here too as well. Miller staying tucked in behind Mitchell would allow him to save some fuel, so we'll have to see what kind of strategy he's on as the race plays out. But right now he seems to be content behind Corey Mitchell. As we see Brian Zinn looking to the inside of Joseph Marr. Joseph going to have the inside of the next corner, but Zinn already ahead. He's going to take that spot away. That's going to drop Joseph Marr down 2 spots now from where he qualified. Zinn moving up 2 spots into P4. So Zinn's starting to find a little bit of speed in that McLaren. Maybe it takes a little longer for the tires to come in versus the Porsche or the Acura, but Zinn now finding his way up through the field. He had the 2nd fastest lap on the track last time, so the McLaren starting to find its legs. Quickest lap last time was by Chaz Sosnowski, 1:3.92. So we'll see if Sosnowski is able to continue that pace. He's now got 1.7 seconds over Ryan Lemke in 2nd spot. Sosnowski kind of just has it in cruise control now. Although he goes a little wide into turn 2, kind of taking a chance with a slowdown out there. He definitely would have got an off track, but it looked like Lemke kind of followed him out there. There is bonus points available for 0x races, but I'm not sure if any of our drivers are going to have much luck with that. Hockenheim, a bit of a challenge to not get an off track, especially in turn 1 where I mentioned the tight confines of the off track limits there. So we'll see if any of our drivers are able to pick up the bonus points as the race goes on. But right now, Sosnowski comfortable out in front, although Lemke that lap took a couple of tenths off. So could we see that the Acura could as well possibly coming around a little later on in the run like the McLaren? But Lemke now the sole Acura in the top 5, and in the sole McLaren, the rest occupied by Porsche. So Porsches are still up towards the front. Actually, the majority of our field looks like it's Porsches. As I look at it now, these guys need a little more variety in their life. Kind of spread the manufacturers out. But let's take a look at one of our non-Porsches here. Sean Drew still trying to hold off the big dog, Kent Kruger. This battle's been carrying on since about the drop of the green flag, but Kent can't quite find a little bit of space to tuck the nose in on Giroux. Giroux trying to make the back end of that Corvette as wide as it, well, it's already pretty wide now. Trying to double the width of that Corvette to keep Kent Kruger behind him. Let's take a quick look here. Looks like Mark Bray might have had a bit of an off track here. Let's see what happened to Mark. Let's pick up Mark. Oh, might have had to avoid Spencer Bodway up ahead there. So he had to bail at the last second, dropped a couple tires off, then brought it back on track. But Bryce Carter looked like he a bit of an off track here too as well. Bryce in the black and red Corvette, he's just going to go deep into the corner. So that's Aaron Sunday was on the inside of him. He's going to get around Ozzik Sulu. Gets around too as well. Oz trying to recover off for that first lap incident that we picked up early ago, as he had to try and avoid Sean Teeter, who was spinning around. Picked back up in the battle between Giroux and Kruger. Kent still in behind, trying to find a spot. Kent looks like he's going to try and make a move now. See if Sean backs off, gives it to him. Kent's going to have to get late on the brakes. Oh, it is. They touch a little bit. It's going to bump Sean out wide. Kent's going to take over 14th overall. It's going to drop Sean back into 15th. That'll give Kent 6th overall in the mid-pack Larry standings. See if Sean fights back here quickly. He's probably not going to be overly enthused. They got a little bit of a bump and run there from Ken, but it's all fair in love and war. You mess with the big dog, you're going to get the, well, not the horns, but you're going to get the growl from the big dog. Otherwise, I think it's kind of hilarious. Ken is big dog racing, but he's got a picture of his little dog in the profile. Looks like Kelly Greenhoe had a bit of an issue here. Let's pick up what happened to Kelly moments ago. So Kelly in the white and blue Acura just ahead of Jonathan Cooper. Oh, Kelly's going to go out wide. He just comes down to, has to whoa it right up. So he got flagged for a crash, but looked like he just got flagged for having to slow way down to not avoid going off track. But that's going to give that position to Jonathan Cooper. It's going to drop Kelly Greenhoe back to 10th overall. Coop moves up into 9th. Another look back here at our second place car. Brian Lemke is trying to chase down Chad Sosnowski up ahead. We saw Lemke had the gap down to 1.5 a couple laps ago, but that gap now opened back up to 1.8 between he and Sosnowski. Wesley Bryce now is going to start putting some pressure on the back of Lemke. So see if Lemke's able to hold him off. He's had a little bit of clear track for the most part ahead of him and behind him. But Bryce, last couple laps have been fairly quick. He's been able to close that gap. He's taken 2 to 3 tenths off of Brian Lemke each of the last 2 laps. So we'll see if Bryce has got something to pressure Lemke here, or if he's going to hit a wall as he moves up closer. A little bit of an arrow wall, as these cars can suffer a little bit of arrow push. You get in behind a car, it starts to get a little more understeer, a high-speed track like Hockenheim, where you really need all the arrow you can get in some of these corners. Try and maximize your entrance into the corner and your exit speed. So we'll see if Bryce is able to do anything with Lemke up ahead. But it looks like we've had another issue for Andre Bunda. Let's see what happened to Andre. Oh, possibly Andre just had a connection issue here, or oh no, he's going to go deep into turn 2 as they gather it back up. Lots of runoff there. That's the nice thing about racing at these Formula 1 FIA Grade 1 tracks. You've got plenty of room for runoff if you happen to get into a corner a little deeper than you planned on it. We got Ross Massa Jr. putting some pressure on Kelly Greenhoe now. Kelly not having a race to remember at this point in time, but Ross looking to the inside. That's a battle for 10th overall. Ross is going to move up ahead of Greenhoe. He's going to take that spot. Greenhoe trying to do the crossover. Ross has to back out of the throttle a little bit on the curve. Greenhoe getting a little twitchy there. He's going to tuck in behind Massa Jr. Try and get a little draft, possibly make a move into this corner here. Nope, Greenhoe doesn't make the move. Thought about making it, tucked to the inside, showed his nose, backed out of it. Massa went a little wide there. Greenhoe had an opportunity. Duck inside, thinks better of it for now. Looks like Kelly's going to stay tucked in for the next few corners into the stadium section. We'll see if he makes a move on the front stretch once they get around there. But it looks like Kelly might have a little more pace in that Acura. If he can hold it together and keep his lines a little tighter. We'll see Massa drop a tire off, kick a little debris up on track. As they throw more and more of those pebbles on track, it will start to affect some of the drivers behind them. But right now, it looks like there's only a few pebbles here and there. But we'll have to keep an eye on that as the race goes on, see if Hey, our drivers have a little issue with that, but right now everybody looking strong. Mass is going to set his sights now on John Cooper, our championship leader in the mid-pack Larry field, up ahead. So see what Massa has to offer him. Let's go on board here with Massa while I have a quick drink. Okay, so we're heading down the Parabolica straight. Massa looking ahead at the Acura of Jonathan Cooper. Not able to use enough of that draft yet to make a move. But looks like he's starting to pull away from Kelly Greenhouse. The McLaren of Ross Massa Jr. starting to find a little pace out here in the mid-pack Larry field. On board here with Russell Elizondo, the leader of the mid-pack Larrys right now. He's got Joseph Maher up ahead of him. Joseph down 4 spots from where he qualified. This isn't going to be a race that Joseph's going to want to keep in the memory books for very long, but that's a battle for 7th overall. Maher currently holding down that spot. Elizondo looking to take it away. It looks like the cars up ahead might have tossed a little bit of debris on the track of Maher and Elizondo as they're coming in trying to get them unsettled, but right now it's like Elizondo holding tighter lines. It's like Maher's car is starting to suffer a little bit of understeer, drifting in a little wide in each of these corners. See if Elizondo is able to utilize the draft, try and make a move into turn 5. But Maher looks like he got a little better exit out of turn 1 than Elizondo. Open up that gap a little bit. They're starting to close in on Mark Miller and Corey Mitchell up ahead. If the two of them can work together, they might be able to draft up and catch Miller and Mitchell and be a part of that battle for 5th overall. Speaking of that battle, let's go take a look at it. Corey Mitchell still leading the way of Mark Miller. Mentioned earlier, if I was Mark Miller, I might try for the undercut. We should be in the pit window now as we're nearing the 20-minute mark. Generally in about the halfway mark of the race, that's where the pit window opens up as we see Maher in behind going a little wide. Elizondo thinks about making a move to the inside, but doesn't quite have enough room to do so. Maher going defensive, trying to stay on the inside half of the track, not allow for any moves by Elizondo to take place. See Elizondo going wide, trying to utilize all the track width that he can, trying to maintain as much speed through the corners as he possibly can, try and make that gap drop significantly, but Maher doing good so far, being able to hold Elizondo back. Check back in on Kent Kruger and Sean Giroux. Looks like Kent starting to close in on Arthur Remish up ahead. Arthur is our 13th overall car, 5th in the mid-pack Larry field. Kent opened a bit of a gap over he and Sean Giroux, so Kent had a little more pace. Sean might have been holding him up a little bit, but it looks like Sean holding tight on the back of Kent's bumper. Just getting total on for the ride right now. See if they can close up on Arthur up ahead. Try and make a move. They still got half of the race to go in this one, so plenty of time for these two drivers to try and make a move around Remish to take over 5th place in the mid-pack Larry field. That gap getting real tight now by Kruger. Kent ran a 141.1 last lap to Remish's 141.7, so Kent definitely has a little more pace out there at this point in time. We'll see if he's able to translate that into a move for 5th in mid-pack Larry's, which would also be 13th overall. Kent looking to the inside. Remish goes a little wide. Kruger unable to get into the throttle as much as he really would have wanted to, as he had to adjust for Remish coming back on track. Didn't want to bump into him. Sean Giroux in behind, throwing it deep into the braking zone, closes that gap up on Kent Kruger. So we'll see if Sean might be able to take advantage of both of these drivers here. If he can get a nice double run through the Parabolica straight, he might be able to make a move into turn 5. We'll see if Sean's able to do that. He's close enough to get draft off Kruger. With Kruger getting draft off Remish, Giroux could benefit from that the greatest. Oh, Corey Mitchell and Mark Miller. Miller looking to the outside of Mitchell. Mitchell's able to defend that off. Miller's going to try for the crossover. Miller might get the run down the back straight, or mid straight, I guess this is, Parabolica. Corey going defensive, tucking to the inside of the track and to try and force Mitchell around, or Miller around the outside of Mitchell. Mitchell deep into the inside. That's going to compromise his turn in and exit. Miller taking the traditional line. He's going to go for the crossover here. No, backs out of it. Miller going to keep the pressure on Mitchell up ahead. But while they battle, that's going to allow Russell Elizondo to catch up quicker here. Looks like Arthur Remish is one of our first drivers into the pits. He's going to complete his pit stop. He's going to head back out on track. We'll pick back up at that battle between Corey Mitchell and Mark Miller. Miller's still holding tight on the back bumper, although it looks like Mitchell's opened up a couple tenths now over Miller. The Acura looking strong, but the Porsche a little better through the twisty sections. Looks like the Acura's got a little more top end speed, so we'll see if Miller's able to find a way to capitalize on that higher top speed on the straights. But right now it looks like Corey doing enough to stay ahead of Miller as it stands. Neither one going to come in to take their pit stop. They're going to go around for another lap. I'll have to take a look. I think Joseph Marr has come in. Yeah, Joseph came in for his pit stop early on, so he is our highest placed driver that utilized his pit stops. We'll see how that works out for him. So we've got John Cooper and Ross Massa into the pits too as well. Oh, it looks like Massa Jr. kind of missed his pit stall. He had to adjust. So that's going to hurt him as he was chasing the car just ahead of him of Jonathan Cooper. Oh, Miller almost into the back bumper of Mitchell there. I'm sure Corey saw a whole lot of white and blue Acura coming up in his rearview mirror there. I wonder if he's going to get the boot, but lurking in the background is Russell Elizondo, current leader of the mid-pack Larrys. He'd love to catch up to these guys. He's currently got Kelly Greenhoe in between he and second place in the mid-pack Larrys, Josh Sheps. So Russell would love to add another couple cars between them. Oh, it looks like Joseph Marr might not have actually had it used his pit stop. Looks like he might have had a bit of an off track. Let's take a look here. Oh, Joseph's going to lose the back end into turn one. Little tag of the wall. He's going to have to get that corrected. I mentioned that in the qualifying session that the Porsches can be tricky through turn one. You get the pendulum effect of the weight over those back tires. It's easy to lose the back end around. Oh, we see Corey Mitchell and Mark Miller coming into the pits. Oh, Miller almost tags the back of Mitchell as they head into the pits. He had to get onto the binders real hard. I think he was quite expecting Corey to break that early for the pits. So we'll follow them here to see who comes out ahead. See if Miller was able to save enough fuel to jump ahead of Mitchell through the pit cycles. We see Wesley Brian Lemke up ahead. Looks like Bryce was able to leapfrog Lemke through the pit cycle. We'll see if Miller's able to do the same thing with Mitchell. There goes Mitchell. Miller's still in the pits. Oh, unfortunate for Mark Miller. Corey Mitchell, king of the short pit stops, is going to get out ahead of Miller. It looks like he's going to open up that gap, but very quick pit stop for Corey Mitchell. We'll have to take a look at the times here shortly and see if hopefully he took enough fuel to make it to the end. But let's jump ahead here as Wesley Bryce has gotten around Brian Lemke through the pit cycles too as well. Quick pit stop for him. So hopefully he's taken on board enough fuel as well. Right now our race leader is Brian Zinn. He has not come in for a pit stop. I suspect we'll probably see Zinn this time by. Russell Elizondo currently in second place overall. It's a sort of field here. There we go, overall. And Russell not yet to pit too as well. So Zinn's heading into the final sector here. We'll see if he dives into the pits. Here he comes. Oh, I'll have to look. He might have crossed the white line a little too late. That could be a penalty if you do that. I know I've been penalized that way before as well. We'll have to see if we can see if he picks up a penalty on that. Yeah, there's a white line for pit entry that's non-negotiable as far as iRacing goes. If you cross that too late, you'll get an unsafe pit entry, and I believe it's a 40-second hold, I believe, could be, or stop and go penalty. But either way, they're going to cycle into the pits. That's going to put Sosnowski out front with about 18 minutes to go in this one. See Sosnowski coming out, and Bryce Carter is going to be a lap down, follows in behind Sosnowski. Looks like Zinn was able to pit and come back ahead out in front of Wesley Bryce. So, ooh, interesting to see. We'll see if Zinn took on enough fuel. That's going to pick him up a couple spots. So Zinn now up into P2 overall. That's 4 spots up from where he qualified. Let's take a look at the pit lap times there. So their quickest pit stop time was actually Zinn with a 34.1 to Sosnowski's 35.2. Corey Mitchell was another one I was worried about. Didn't quite get enough fuel. Let's see, 35.4, so relatively decent pit stop for Corey. Lemke with the 37.5. That's how Bryce was able to jump ahead of Lemke. Lemke taking a little more fuel, possibly some tires. Bryce's 35.8 allowed him to jump ahead of Lemke. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully all of our drivers took enough fuel to get to the end, but we'll see how that plays out. Right now, Zinn looking the biggest benefactor of the pit stops right now, up ahead of Wesley Bryce into second place. See Bryce here currently following Zinn in his blue and orange Porsche 911 GT3 992R. I don't know if they can give it any more letters and acronyms here for the name, but that's where he stands. It is right now. Russell Elizondo now back on the tailpipe of Mark Miller. He was starting to close in on the gap between Miller and Mitchell up ahead before the pit stop. So Elizondo still showing some strong speed out here after the pit stops, trying to take over P6 from Mark Miller. Elizondo also our leader in the mid-pack Larry field right now. Let's pick up our championship leader in mid-pack Larry's, which is Jonathan Cooper. Coop, also one of our sponsors. So let's take a moment here to, we've got the cars cycling through from the pit stops. Take a look at our sponsors. One of them, as I just mentioned, Jonathan Cooper Electric. For all your electrical services and beyond, Jonathan Cooper Electric provides a wide array of electrical services, but they don't stop there. They can help you plan and execute all of your project needs. That's John Cooper Electric. He's not just a sponsor, but he's also one of the racers. Let's also take a look at another sponsor here, DRE, the Digital Race Engineer. Save yourself 10% with the coupon Kent Big Dog 10. DRE is a premium spotter and crew chief with many additional benefits. It's built exclusively for iRacing, but I can also tell you, as I am a user of DRE, they've recently expanded to Assetto Corsa Competition, and they are working on Le Mans Ultimate as well. So it is going to be something that you can use across multiple games. It's built exclusively for iRacing, like I said, but not so much anymore. It's perfect for VR users. It monitors your racing. It contacts and alerts you as the crew chief iRacing needs. Use your voice or buttons to control over 400 commands. Give vital feedback from over 50 voice alerts. Nothing to look at and be distracted by, as it's audio-only communication. Again, you can pick up a 10% coupon if you visit the apexthis.racing/our partners webpage, and you'll find the code there. Another one of our sponsors is Dakota Territory Club. The Dakota Territory Club is a car and truck motorcycle community with like-minded people living in southwest North Dakota. We currently have over 140 members from North Dakota, South Dakota, and Montana. You can find them at https://Dakota Territory Car Club.com. That one's a mouthful. You can find the link for that again on the Apex This Racing Our Partners section of the page. And the last sponsor is Apex Sim Racing. Apex Sim Racing for immersive racing gear. They carry Cube Controls, Momo, Moza Racing, Saybelt, Sigma Integrale, Magic, OBP Motorsport, OMP, Rich DPC, and Apex Sim Racing products. They carry pedals, steering wheels, wheelbases, displays, shifters, seats, dashboards, button boxes, cables, and more. You can use the link on that sponsor page as well. You can get your Apex This affiliate credit for any purchase you make. Again, those are the sponsors. You can find all of them at the Apex This iRacing League page under the Our Partners section. Go and visit all of our sponsors who help keep the league up and running, but nice to see them week in, week out. As we follow along John Cooper here, see what we've got for battles throughout the field. Looks like we've got most of the field kind of getting spaced out here now after the pit stop cycles. Sean Giroux was able to get back around Kent Kruger through the pit cycle, so we'll see if the big dog has another move around Giroux in his bag of tricks, or if he's going to have to settle for 6th overall in the mid-pack Larry field. So we had a crash from Oz Exulu. Let's see if we can take a quick look at that. Oz, we saw, unfortunately, in lap 1 have a bit of a excursion trying to avoid the spun car, but so he's just going to take it wide into turn 5. Oh, it's a little loose there. Got flagged for heading a little slow, I guess, but able to keep it under him. So Brian Lemke might have dipped a tire or two off the track here as he's trying to chase down Wesley Bryce and Brian Zinn up ahead. Oh, Lemke going to go deep into the kitty litter. Fortunately, that gravel slows the car down fairly quickly, keeps them from heading all the way out into the guardrails on the inside. As we see come back and we see big dog Kent Kruger making the move around Sean Giroux. So I had just mentioned, I didn't know if the big dog would have another move in his bag of tricks to get around Giroux, and he made it happen. He just showed me that he did. See if we can take a quick look at how that happened here in a moment. Here we go. See how Kent was able to pull it off. Sean tried to go defensive, went as far inside as he could. Realized that Kruger was going to have the pace there, and Giroux just bails out. Tries to duck in, thinks about the crossover move, but Kent able to utilize the torque in that Ferrari 296 to start to pull away from Giroux. So that's going to move Kent back up into 5th spot in the mid-pack Larry's. Now Giroux has to deal with Aaron Sunday. Sunday now up 3 spots from where he qualified into 15th overall, which is also 7th place in the mid-pack Larry's. See Sunday thinking about looking to the inside of Giroux. Giroux pace falling off here this last lap. Not sure if he picked up a little bit of damage somewhere, but it's at the top end speed, and that Corvette might be suffering a little bit. Oh, Sunday getting a little loose. He has to collect it up. That's going to allow Oz Exulu to look to the inside. See if Oz is able to complete that pass into the corner. He is. So Sunday's just went from trying to pressure Giroux to falling back behind Exulu now. Sean Giroux will be happy to see that out of his rearview mirror. He definitely didn't look like he was enjoying any pressure from Aaron Sunday there. So now Sean can start to focus on trying to catch back up to Kent, the big dog Kruger, up ahead with 10 minutes to go. Well, just under 10 minutes to go on this one. Getting down to the nitty gritty, but check back in our leader, Chad Sosnowski. Chad's still on cruise control out front. Open up 3.8 seconds now between he and second place Zinn. So Chad, as long as he's got enough fuel, he can actually probably even go into fuel saving mode at this point in time. Welcome in Pit Road Productions from your porcelain throne. Good to see that you're taking care of business in more than one ways. But drop back here in P2, Brian Zinn. He was feeling a little bit of pressure from Wesley Bryce, but Zinn's been able to open up a bit of a gap. 1.8 seconds now over he and Bryce in second place, or sorry, Bryce in third place. Lemke, we saw him drop a tire off earlier. That's dropped him back a little bit. He's got the lapped car of, I believe that's Arthur Remish between him and Corey Mitchell. We got to go back 9 seconds to find Corey Mitchell and Mark Miller. Looks like Miller has closed that gap on Mitchell now. We saw Miller look like he was going to start to fall into the clutches of Russell Elizondo, but Mark Miller's found the pace to pick back up. 1:39.6 last lap to Miller's 1:39.6 to Mitchell's 1:40.3. So Mark Miller almost takes a second out of Corey Mitchell's gap there, and that's why we see him putting the pressure on the back of Corey Mitchell now. See if Corey's able to hold him off. Corey's a pretty talented driver in real life. He's got a Corvette C6, I want to say it is, that he races fairly frequently, so he knows how to make that car as wide as possible to try and keep somebody behind him. So Mark Miller may have to give him the old chrome horn to try and open up some space and try and take advantage of Miller up ahead. But let's take a look back at Ozek Sulu now. We saw him get around Aaron Sunday after that incident Sunday had earlier. Exulu, we've seen him have a bit of an adventure out here tonight, but he's recovered after his lap 1 incident, plus driving deep into turn 5, so he's still out there, still putting in the laps. He's got himself back to where he qualified, 7th in mid-pack there. He's 15th overall, trying to put some pressure on Sean Giroux in the black Corvette up ahead. Exulu in the Acura. It's a sharp-looking paint job on that Acura, and generally not one that likes the orangish yellow paint schemes, but I think that looks pretty sharp. Let's go on board with Exulu here. Have a listen to the vacuum cleaner that is the Acura NSX. Tries to chase down the Corvette as Giroux up ahead. Giroux goes a little wide. You see Exulu had to a little bit of steering correction there. Car got a little loose as he hammered down the throttle, had to correct it a little bit. So see if he gets enough draft to make a move into turn 5. Giroux goes a little bit defensive, trying to hold Exulu off. Exulu going to try and go around the outside. See if he's able to make it stick. And Giroux going to try and force him out wide. Oh, Exulu has to hold on to the correction, not able to make the move. But Aaron Sunday sitting straight behind, watching all this happen up ahead of him. This is our tightest battle on track, so we'll focus on them for a little bit. Take a quick look up at Corey Mitchell and Mark Miller, as Miller has that gap down to 8/10 now. Miller running strong. He's got 6 minutes, just under 6 minutes to go, so starting to run out of time. If he's got anything left in the tank, now's the time to pour it out the window. We saw Miller with a little bit longer pit stop, so I'm not sure if he took possibly front tires on his pit stop, a couple seconds longer than the rest of the field. So those tires might be coming into play now. That might be where he found that extra pace after he took a couple laps to get the tires up to temp. So we'll see if it plays out, and we'll have to see if we can get a message into him later on to find out if he took tires or not, because I'm kind of curious now whether he did. See, Exulu still trying to put some pressure on Giroux. Giroux doing well to hold him off. I was curious a few laps ago if Sean Giroux possibly had some damage. Looked like the Corvette might have been suffering a little bit on the top end, but it looks like he's gathered it back up now. Might just need a lap or two to get the tires cooled back down. I'm not sure what happened to Aaron Sunday. He was right behind this battle, but looks like he had to duck into the pits again for another pit stop. I'm not sure if he had a drive-through for incidents possibly, but he's fallen out of this battle that we currently watching here between Sean Giroux and Oz Exulu. Look back at Mitchell and Miller, that gap down to half a second now between the two of them. Mitchell's starting to feel the pressure. Miller pushing hard. 4 minutes to go in this one. That's going to be probably another 2 laps, maybe 3 laps, depending when the leader crosses the line. So Miller running low on time to make a move. Runs a little wide, trying to stay in the throttle as much as he can. On board here with Miller is see the wide ass of that Porsche Corey Mitchell up ahead. Corey trying to make it as wide as possible again. Corey a little off of the apex there, saves for Miller, trying to make a dive onto the inside. It covers him off. Miller had to compromise his exit to make sure he didn't drive into the back of Mitchell up ahead. See a lap car up ahead of them. I think that might be Arthur Reemish just up ahead of them. They're going to be catching him shortly. He may come into play here in this battle. You see Miller now 3/10 separating the two of them. Miller pushing hard. Corey was one of our shorter pit stop time drivers, so I mentioned, I'm not sure if he may have taken enough fuel or not, so we're seeing maybe Corey's fuel saving at this point in time. That's allowed Miller to close up. But right now, not looking great for Corey Mitchell to try and hold Mark Miller off behind him. As they're going to head across the line. Barney not waving the white flag yet, so we still got a couple more laps to go. Corey going defensive into turn 2. Miller going to have to try and make it around the outside if he wants to get around Mitchell through this corner. Mitchell's going to hold him off. Miller looks for the crossover, not a corner where you can take advantage of that. We'll see if Miller's able to utilize the draft here. Try and get a run on Corey Mitchell. It's close enough now. He might be able to do it. Let's see. Corey not going defensive at this point. He's waiting to see if Miller's going to make a move. Oh, here we go. Miller looks to the inside. Corey trying to cut him off. Oh, forces him onto the grass. Miller has to collect it up, and they're going to carry on. I don't think they touched there. Corey just didn't give him much space of all. That's going to drop Mark Miller back 7/10 now. We'll have to see if we can take another look at that, see if we can see if they touched it all, but I don't see anything flagged that they touched, so I think it was all fair. But see if Miller's able to close that gap up again now with a minute and a half to go. Let's check on our leader. Chad Sosnowski, the white flag waving there. You can see Barney just hanging off the tower, tossing that thing around. This will be the last lap. Sosnowski 4.5 seconds overs in, barring any major catastrophe, disconnect, equipment disconnect. Sosnowski should take this one. Is in comfortably in second spot, 3 seconds up of Wesley Bryce. Wesley Bryce just ahead of Brian Lemke, 2 seconds, and then we go back 10 seconds to this battle for fifth place in the pros in 5th overall. Arthur Remish is going to pull out of the way of that lap car they said might be an issue coming up, but he's going to bail off, allow these two to battle. Let's take a quick look back here. We've got a battle all of a sudden now for second place mid-pack Larry's Josh Sheps caught up to the back of Jonathan Cooper. Cooper also our championship leader in mid-pack Larry's, so Coop doing everything he can. He doesn't want to allow Sheps around him. He needs those championship points, all that he can get, so we'll keep an eye on that while we pop back up here to Mitchell and Miller. Miller got that gap now down to 3/10, trying to make a move, looking any which way he can. Corey might be able to hold on to this. No real great overtaking opportunities as they head into the stadium section. This could be all she wrote for Mark Miller's charge at Corey Mitchell. Corey able to make that car as wide as possible as it stands right now. We take a look back at Sheps making a move on the inside of Cooper. Cooper able to hold him off. Sheps might have to settle the same fate as Mark Miller, as that was the last real great overtaking opportunity on the track. Coop going to hold on to that spot, pop back up here to Mitchell and Miller. Couple more corners to go here as Sosnowski's going to take the win. He's in second and Bryce third, but we're going to follow this battle to the line. Mitchell's still holding on to it. Miller's going to have to settle for and there we go. Corey Mitchell going to hold on to that one there. Well done for him. Let's check back in on Cooper and Sheps. Sheps looking to the outside. Cooper going to hold off to it for now. One more corner to go. Coop holds onto it. Keep the back end behind that car, and he's got that one. Cross the line they go. That'll give Cooper second place in the mid-pack Larry's. Well done for him. Ross Massa gets around Joseph Maher. That's going to move him up into 11th place at the line. See Kent Kruger, he's going to bring it home 13th overall, up 6 spots from where he qualified. 5th in the mid-pack Larry field. Nice run for the big dog. Oz Exulu, he's going to bring it home 6th in the mid-pack Larry field. Sean Giroux was unable to hold off Exulu. He got around him. See if we can pick that up. Here we go. Take a look at that. It was the last lap pass by Exulu. Oh, dives into the inside of Giroux. I don't think Giroux was expecting that there. Left a little space in the inside. Exulu took advantage of it. That was able to move him up a spot. Looks like we're just waiting for Couple drivers here to finish up. Spencer Beaudoin, Aaron Sunday. Okay, everybody has crossed the line now. Let's see if we can have a look at the final results. Okay, here we go. Chad Sosnowski takes home the win. Brian's in second place. Wesley Bryce in third. That's also our almost pro podium. Brian Lemke in fourth. Corey Mitchell in fifth. Mark Miller in sixth. I'm getting into our leader of the mid-pack Larrys. Russell Elizondo going to take home the mid-pack Larry top spot on the podium. Kelly Greenhoe in 8th overall. Jonathan Cooper second in class, 9th overall. Josh Sheps round out the podium for the mid-pack Larrys in 10th overall. Ross Massa in 11th. Joseph Maher in 12th. Kent Kruger in 13th. Oz Exulu 14th. Sean Giroux 15th. Spencer Beaudoin 16th. Mark Bray in 17th. Aaron Sunday in 18th. And then we're going to find Arthur Remish in 19th. Bryce Carter in 20th. Andre Bunda in 21st. And then we lost Roman Bykoff and Sean Teeter early on in this one. Okay, well, that was a interesting one. We had some good battles at the end. Now, let's take a look at the traditional for Apex, this Chaos Theory. And I'm just going to get everything queued up here from the start of the race. And here we go. Let's take a look at first incident with Sean Teeter on lap 1. Sean is the black NSX in the middle beside Corey Mitchell in the red Porsche. We go 3 wide. Unfortunately, looks like Teeter got bumped by Greenhoe and Mitchell there. Send his Acura spinning around. Fortunate for him. Roman Bykoff was involved in this one too as well. Bykoff in the white and black Acura. Oh! Manages to avoid the car. Suffers an off track. I believe that's Andre Bunda we just saw as well. Andre in the white WeatherTech Porsche. Oh, just gets tagged by the rear bumper of Sean Teeter. He's going to lose the front bumper as I think he got tagged by another car spinning around there. Fortunate for him. Oz Sulu, we had a look at this one earlier on. Oz kind of just tries to avoid everywhere there, but just gets tagged by the secondary contact. Fortunate for him. Oh, he took a bit of a heavier hit than I thought originally on the tire barrier on the inside, but he was able to recover back to 14th overall, so nice run by him. Pick up Andre Bunda. Oh, it's the same incident. Spencer Beaudoin. See what happened to Spencer here in the chrome and gray green Porsche. Looks like he's in the inside of Aaron Sunday. Dive into the inside. Oh, just has to get heavy on the brakes. Looks like I have to lower the threshold for crash flagging. Bykoff off track in turn. Oh! Hits the inside curb. I mentioned that in qualifying. You hammer that, you're going to get tossed around, and so that happened to Roman. I think he calls it quits at this point in time. Yeah, it looks like he's waiting for the field to go around. Bryce Carter had an off track here. I think we might have looked at this earlier, but coming in hot. Corvette, he's going to go out wide. He's got Spencer Beaudoin behind him. They do well not to contact. Oz Sulu again. He's on the back of Bryce Carter. This might have been where Sulu has to go deep into the corner. Oh no, he's deep under the brake. Oh, almost takes out Mark Bray. Oh, Mark Bray was lucky there. He probably didn't even know it was coming. He was already in the middle of turning the corner. Oh, it's he's in. Welcome to chat. You could say it was a lucky strike. Yeah, it was an unlucky stripe by Bykoff on the curb there. Hey, Stan. Welcome in. See Greenhoe and I believe that was Coop on the inside. They rubbed a little bit there. Coop makes the pass. Andre Bunda is flagged for a crash here. I think this was more of a connection issue on his end, but let's take a look here. He might have a little bit of the curb issue. Nope, he just dives it deep into the corner, misses the braking section altogether for turn 2. Gathers it up. This might have been the nail in the coffin for Bykoff. Was this his unlucky strike here? To quote Zinn. No, just got flagged for going too slow. Insult to injury when you get flagged for a crash by just going too slow. Andre Bunda again. Suspect this could be a pendulum effect in the Porsche. Yeah, coming in too hot. He's going to lose the back end. Keeps it off the wall, keeps it out of traffic. He'll be able to race on. Joseph Marr, off-track excursion here into turn one. Another one with the unlucky strike. Oh, he insult to injury there. Hit the curb, spun, and then you get the old boop into the wall too as well. So he's able to gather it back up. I believe that was for the before the pit stop, so he was able to use this quick repair. Roman Bykoff's gonna hit the not so highlight reel again. Oh, that was an odd one there. Oh, and he alt F4'd out. It was enough for Roman there, I guess. We cycle through the pit stops. Looks like Joseph Marr is going to flag again. Where's Coors? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's why he... whoops. Maybe that's why he wrecked Stan. He wasn't rocking the Coors paint scheme. Let's pick up Joseph Marr here. I think this might just be too late on the brakes into turn 5. Yeah, it's just flagged for having to slow down too heavily. Oz Exulu. I believe this could be a similar incident. Yep. Oz Exulu and possibly Bryce Carter. No, Oz Exulu, Sean Giroux. Looks like Sean looking to the inside of Exulu. Exulu having to go wide. Well, not sure why you got flagged for that, but clean pass there. Bryce Carter, he's following around, or he's just ahead of Russell Elizondo. This was Russell probably trying to, oh, he got a little help from Russell Elizondo there. Let's see if we can pick up a cockpit view here from Elizondo. I believe, in Russell's defense, I believe Bryce was a lap down heading into the pits there, so I've done that myself too. I can't remember who it was a few seasons ago. Same spot. They were going into pit, but I wasn't. And the pit entry there, it's really tough if the car behind you doesn't know, because it's right on the racing line. Sean Giroux and Spencer Baudouin are flagged here for a crash. I don't see how. Oh, this is after the race. I'm not sure whether flagged here, but that was after Exulu got around Giroux at the end. So that's it. Another Apex this race in the books. One more week left for these racers to try and gather some points. So we'll see how that pans out for them. Thanks for anybody who's joined in, still out there, for turning in. I hope you all enjoyed this. I needed to work on some settings, make sure everything was still working well on copacetic, and I'm happy to say everything looked like it was flawless on the technical side here as far as it went. So thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Bye for now.